Somewhere inside a fabrication plant in Shanghai right now, silicon wafers are moving through deposition chambers at temperatures most metals cannot survive. If you believe the headline, 1.6 million Ascend 910C accelerators will come out the other side by the end of 2026. Can Huawei actually build 1.6 million artificial intelligence chips in 2026? That number is either the most important data point in the global chip race or a very specific way to mislead you. This script is going to find out which. The Ascend 910C is the chip the figure refers to. One physical package, a compute die, married to a stack of high bandwidth memory. The whole thing roughly the size of a thick playing card. Keep that object in mind. Can Huawei actually build 1.6 million artificial intelligence chips in 2026? At the wafer level, the answer leans yes. SMIC's most advanced available process node can print the Ascend 910C compute die. Reports from semiconductor trade publications through 2023 to 2025 suggest SMIC has meaningfully expanded capacity at this node. Huawei's own shipment history with the 910B confirms the fab relationship is functional. The compute die itself is achievable in volume. Think of that die as a car engine sitting on a factory floor. SMIC can build the engine. The headline counts engines. But an engine on a floor is not a car, and the number of engines counted tells you nothing about how many cars drive out. My read, the wafer-level answer is the one Huawei wants you to stop at. It is technically defensible and strategically incomplete. That combination is not accidental. A production target is a lock on a door, and what it seals off tells you more than what it announces. The 1.6 million figure locks your attention onto silicon. Anything a target locks your attention onto is worth looking behind. So let's ask it again. Can Huawei actually build 1.6 million artificial intelligence chips in 2026? Probably not, because the memory supply caps the package count well below that number. The Ascend 910C is not just a compute die, it is a package. It requires high bandwidth memory stacked on top of it. Without that memory, the die cannot function as an artificial intelligence accelerator at all. The domestic supplier capable of producing high bandwidth memory class stacks at scale is CXMT. Reports from analyst firms suggest CXMT's current output reaches somewhere around 2 million stacks annually. 2 million sounds like abundance. Stack those 2 million units physically, and they would fill a mid-size shipping container. But the 910C needs multiple stacks per package. The container does not grow. The finished chip count derived from it falls sharply. Working from those reported figures, the number of complete 910C packages CXMT can supply lands in a range of roughly 250,000 to 300,000. That is a fraction of 1.6 million. These are analyst estimates, not confirmed production figures from either company. And I want to be precise about that. The compute die is the engine. High bandwidth memory is the fuel injection system, and you need a specific, high precision one for each engine. CXMT is the only domestic shop making those injectors right now, and it cannot make enough of them to feed 1.6 million packages. But this answer still treats memory supply as a fixed ceiling, and it does not ask how that memory gets physically bonded to the die. There is a second constraint nested inside the first. Ask it a third time. Can Huawei actually build 1.6 million artificial intelligence chips in 2026? The answer narrows again. High bandwidth memory stacking is not a software problem. It is a precision physical process that requires specific equipment, thermo-compression bonders, advanced wafer thinning tools, fine pitch inspection systems. Reports from equipment analysts and export control review documents suggest the high bandwidth memory packaging step still leans significantly on Western origin tooling. There is no confirmed domestic replacement for the full set of equipment this process requires, as of mid-2025 reporting, which means even if CXMT doubles its output, a portion of that output flows through a process that policymakers in Washington can, in principle, tighten further. Here is where I push back on my own framing. I do not think CXMT's memory shortfall is a secret Huawei failed to notice. I think the 1.6 million figure was chosen knowing it would be read as a chip count, not a memory stack count. The number is real. The implied unit is doing quiet work. Think of the tooling layer as the lock itself. Huawei and CXMT have keys to the rooms before it. They can print silicon. They can stack some memory. But the precision assembly chamber is a door they do not yet fully own the key to. The three answers stack. Compute dies are achievable. Memory supply is the first ceiling. Tooling dependency is the floor beneath that ceiling. The real constraint is not any single number. It is the compounding of three separate supply chain gaps, and only the first of which the headline figure acknowledges. Now hold both readings at once. The bearish case says the tooling gap is structural, not cyclical. Equipment export controls have tightened progressively, and domestic alternative development is measured in years, not quarters. Even an optimistic CXMT ramp runs into a packaging bottleneck that cannot be resolved by ordering more wafers. The bullish case says CXMT is moving faster than most Western analysts credited 18 months ago. Yield improvements and stack configuration optimization could raise the memory ceiling meaningfully within 2026. Huawei has shipped more than observers expected before. My honest assessment is that both readings are partly true and both are strategically incomplete. The ceiling is real. The ceiling is moving. And neither number, 1.6 million or 300,000, is the one that determines whether Huawei's artificial intelligence stack actually competes, because volume alone does not close a performance gap measured in interconnect bandwidth and memory latency. Worth noting, no independent benchmark of the 910C against current Nvidia H100-class systems at the full system level has been publicly released. The company's own performance claims exist. Third-party validation does not yet, based on available reporting. Which brings us to the wrong question. Can Huawei actually build 1.6 million artificial intelligence chips in 2026? That question assumes the chip count is the binding variable. It is not. The chip count is the number Huawei chose to put in the headline, which should itself be a signal worth reading. The better question is this: how many complete Menamikiden Kalite memory-equipped Ascend packages can Huawei actually deliver in 2026? And are those packages competitive at the workload level that matters to Chinese cloud buyers? Probably somewhere between 250,000 and 500,000, depending on CXMT's ramp and yield. Whether that is enough depends not on the number, but on whether domestic cloud customers have alternatives. Under current export controls, they increasingly do not. The 1.6 million figure was the lock. What it sealed off was the memory count. Read the number backward, and it tells you exactly which bottleneck Huawei would prefer you not to examine. My read is this: Huawei's artificial intelligence chip ambition is real. The execution is genuine. And the headline figure is a target chosen to be remembered rather than verified. The interesting story is not whether they hit 1.6 million. It is whether 300,000 well-placed chips inside a captive domestic market with no Western alternative is enough to anchor an artificial intelligence ecosystem. I think the answer to that is closer to yes than most Western coverage admits. The Ascend 910C, that playing card-sized package of compute die and memory stack, is where this resolves. Every chip that ships is a data point. Every chip that cannot ship because the memory was not there is a different kind of data point, one the headline does not count. The number they gave you was real. The unit they implied was the choice. If you were a Chinese cloud company right now and you needed to build an artificial intelligence training cluster, would you wait for Huawei's next production ramp? Or would you build around what is actually available today? I would genuinely like to know how you would run that calculation. Drop it in the comments below. If this kind of supply chain forensics is useful to you, subscribe and turn on notifications. There is more of this coming.